Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Untapped Podcast. My name is Jacob Gabel.
And my name is Jacob Wurtz, guys. Welcome to Season 3, Episode number 15.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Guys, if this is your first time joining us for the Untapped Podcast, first of all, thank you and welcome. We are so happy to have you here with us. We actually have 5 main formats of our show. So first, we have, which is what we have today, we have Forging Fortitude episodes. In these episodes, we cover the mental side of things. Okay, our overall idea with our brand is to combine mental health and physical health into one. Okay, so in these Forging Fortitude episodes, we cover that mental side. We go over a lot of our anecdotal experiences with mindset and mentality, the different things we've gone through, the different avenues we've used to get through those, and we try to pass on the advice to you guys to then use it in your own life. Next, we have physical vitality episodes. Okay, you have 2 certified personal trainers here. In these episodes, we cover that other half of the brand, okay, the physical side. In these ones, we cover everything to do with fitness, nutrition, workouts, diet, fitness programs like 75 Hard. We cover outdoor workouts, all things to do with the physical we cover, and we really get to show off our expertise in those episodes.
Love it, dude. 2 formats down. Third one is our breaking news format. Now, the breaking news format, it's kind of in the name a little bit. It is a current event-based format. Now, it is how history connects to current day events. We sometimes talk on that. We also talk over current day articles and the BS that tends to be going on, especially in the United States, is what we see for the most part because we are in the United States, of course. Mm-hmm. And we do give our opinions on these situations, which seem to be right more and more often, it seems like.
Definitely.
But we love talking that stuff. Those are also very fun episodes for us, too.
Yeah, we get fired up. To say the least.
Yes. Yeah. If you want to listen to the last one, that's when we...
really good episode.
Really good episode.
Probably one of the most important ones we've done.
Actually, top 2 to 3 we've done 100% for that reason. 4th format, guys. That is our Knights Table episodes. Now, those are masculinity-based. Keep in mind, guys, we are 2 24-year-olds and a 22-year-old here on the podcast. The reason I even mention that is because we are bringing you on the journey to becoming a masculine, strong man, because we believe masculinity, and we know masculinity is paramount in today's world, and keeping it the toxic stuff they call it these days, so to speak. That is not true. Masculinity is extremely important. We love talking on those episodes. Our men's nights are a big outreach arm of what we've come from that.
100%.
5th format, guys, is our guest format. Now, the guest format, pretty self-explanatory. That is when we sit down with a fitness professional, entrepreneur, somebody that brings you value, might be a professional in their field of some sort, and we have a conversation with them. We're trying to bring you guys as much value as possible, and somebody else often can bring even more value to you guys as well. Mm-hmm. Final thing to introduce is our producer and my brother, Mitchell Gabel.
Gentlemen.
Money Mitch.
So goofy.
He is so goofy. I never know how he's going to respond to the intro.
No, I have no clue. It's like this could be like some kind of robotic cybersecurity answer, or it could be just hilarious out of nowhere. So
yeah, Mitch, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I'm funnier than you two, so
wow,
buddy.
Objectively,
dangerous road to go down here.
Man, I don't think you want to go down that path. Yeah,
he's trying to wake us up. Is what he's trying to do now.
Right. Yeah, Gable and I just got done getting after it with some of our friends, boxing. And to say the least, we got our asses whooped.
Whooped is a light term for it.
Whooped.
Yeah. Captain Dominic took us to the ringer, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ring, boxing ring.
Pun guy.
See, look at that, Mitch. We're already funnier than you. We literally just proved it, and we're 37 seconds into this episode. What's worse, that or always having 2 guns on? Which is worse?
What are you, like 55 with these dad jokes? What's going on here?
Obviously,
the guns one is pretty painful because I have some PTSD from when we went on like field trips, school field trips, and dads would always say that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't bring any guns in this government facility. It's like, Steve, shut up. Come on, like, enough of that. Like we don't need any of that.
Dad jokes. There's a reason they're the best jokes.
Fair.
Because they're the funniest.
It's like a dad jar.
Yeah. Literally though.
That's some awesome stuff though.
Yeah.
We do have a topic today.
We do.
Pretty
we almost always do.
It happens to be that we have a topic today. I love it, dude. Guys, what we want to dive into today, this is so funny. I love the banter.
So stupid.
The banter is just my favorite part of these episodes, guys.
Especially because we're all a little slap happy.
Definitely a little slap happy right now. So just be prepared for that, guys. We do like to have fun on this podcast.
100%.
It just so happens.
Without a doubt.
But we do have a topic today, a really solid one for that matter. Wurtz mentioned it's a forging fortitude today, guys. It is the concept, as you can see on the title, it's time is money. Now, what does that kind of mean? We're going to break that down and dive into it a little bit.
Right, right. And guys, kind of the whole basis of this episode is to really show you why your time is so valuable and why you need to value your time more and more. I think so often, so many of us find ourselves spreading ourselves too thin on things that don't really need our energy or our time as much as what we think they do. You know, I think if we wanted to start off with talking about being efficient, you know, with our time, I think the first one that comes to mind is workouts. You know, being efficient, not only being efficient with your workouts, but also making time for exercise and for workouts. You know, there's a lot of people that do not prioritize that, and they want to know why they feel lethargic. They, you know, aren't happy with their physique. They don't have a lot of energy to give to their family or their friends or their business or their job. And very rarely do people look at exercise as a potential remedy for those things.
Or a time creator sometimes,
or a
too.
time creator, yeah. You know, and there's also a lot of people that use the excuse of not having enough time to, therefore, then they don't work out.
They use it as it's going to get in the way of other stuff. When in reality, as we know, and we've talked about in physical vitality episodes, what happens is when you exercise, it actually creates more focus for yourself.
Absolutely.
You're actually more mentally dialed in, so you end up having more time because of that.
Without a doubt. And I think that especially, you know, I'm a morning workout person, and I think that's especially true when you do work out in the morning because you're starting the day off with a W. Even if you have a shitty workout, you still got in there and got after it. You know, or you still got up and ran, or you even walked, you know, whatever it is. If that's the first thing that you do in the morning, in the day, like you're starting the day off with a W.
That is so well put.
You're already so far ahead of so many people. You know, it's kind of cool. So House of Pain, the gym I go to, for those of you who maybe don't know, probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago, they moved. They moved locations, not too far from where the other location was, but now there's windows in it that face a highway, a very major highway. And there's been times where I've been in the gym and, you know, I'm feeling a little sluggish, which honestly most days I do because I get there between 6:30 and 6:45 every morning. You know, so it usually takes me a little bit to fully get into the workout,
kick it into gear,
get going. Yeah, even with pre-workout flowing and whatnot. But, you know, there's times where I found myself, I kind of look out the windows and I'm like, all these people driving by, they're not in here. You know, they're not in here getting that work in.
Yep.
I work at 9 o'clock just like all of those other people that are leaving right now, and they're not in here. They're not going to go this afternoon.
Yep. They're
They're not going to go tonight. They're not going to do it at all. So there's some power in that too.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's not a cockiness thing, but it'll help you have pride in yourself and have pride in what you're doing rather, you know?
Exactly. And because even if you're just telling yourself that, it does really up the ante for yourself.
For sure.
It makes you feel, and you and I were talking about confidence and whatnot. It makes you feel more about the workout too.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh, like I could either be sluggish and cry about it, or I could be like, oh, I'm doing something most other people aren't.
Exactly.
Which is a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal.
So, and when it comes to exercise and prioritizing time with that, because again, the whole time is money concept, guys. You know what does that even mean? As most you know, time is the most valuable thing on the planet.
For sure.
It is not
Because it's limited.
because it's limited. Exactly. We only get a certain amount of it. Money, you could get an unlimited amount of it hypothetically if you do the right things.
Sure.
But time, it's limited no matter what for every human being.
Yeah.
You know, unless you're into the adrenochrome, like or the elites are. That's great stuff. You know,
We don't have our conspiracy glasses on. So
shoot, we forgot them again.
Can't
Sorry,
dive,
you're right. We
can't dive too deep in there.
We can't touch on that stuff. But it is a limited thing. So with exercise, a lot of people, like we were just saying, they treat it as if it's a barrier to what's happening. When in reality, what Wurtz is saying here is he's going at 6:30 to 6:45 in the morning. He's also prepared the night before for this workout. You already have, your powders that you take for your post workout and whatnot with you in your bag. You have your gym bag prepared, all that stuff, but the night before. So you're already ready to get there. And when you get to the gym, you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Because even if you're sluggish, everything, like other habits that you have to go to the gym, your pre-workout's already ready to go. Your post-workout's already ready to go. What else would you say? Your headphones are already in there. That's another one too.
I mean,
everything.
Yeah.
You name it. Like
Yeah.
a gym bag can have so many different things.
It does.
You
got so many things in
dude,
it.
yeah. Mine too. But I mean, and again, maybe it's, your bands you need for that workout that day. You're warming up doing, pull parts or something like that. So again, this is what we're talking about, guys. This is prioritizing habits, because now Wurtz is just getting up, adding another step to the day that, again, could take an hour to an hour and a half, or it could take 45 minutes or something like that, whatever it is. And because we're not saying, guys, that you have to go in and be the next Arnold Schwarzenegger and stay in the gym for 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, right.
I think that's a pretty common misconception, that to somehow get results, you have to do that, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not, because there's a lot of misinformation about the fitness industry.
There is.
For that matter.
Honestly, let's stay on that point for a second. Because I agree with you that it is a massive, massive misconception. And I think that's why a lot of people get turned off to try to make time for the gym. Like, I don't have 3 hours to be in the gym. Like, bro, I'm telling you could get a workout in that will be sufficient and that will do a lot of good things for your body in 30 minutes.
Yes.
The most you would need, if for a 30-minute workout, the most you would need would be about 45 minutes in the door, out the door. Because you figure about 5 to 7 minutes to get in the door, put stuff in the locker, get rolled out, or, get warmed up and whatnot. You easily can make time for a 30-minute workout.
100%.
Without a doubt. Like, I ran 4 miles in 34 minutes the other day. And you're telling me you can't get a workout?
You're fast. No big deal.
Not the point, but like, if someone's like, I've only got 30 minutes till I got to shower to be at dinner.
Yep.
Perfect. Go for a 2-mile walk. Go for a 20-minute walk.
Exactly.
Go for a 30-minute walk. Run. Whatever.
And again, we're advocating here, guys, exercise is actually a time saver.
Yeah.
At first, every time, those that want to continue to kind of cope with the fact that they're not exercising, they use the excuse of, I just don't have time. So let's break that down, right? In reality, what's going to happen, you work out at, again, let's say Wurtz's time, 6:30 to 6:45 in the morning, right about there. You get to the gym then. You get a really solid workout in. You get your endorphins going for the day. Guess what? Your work day for that, let's say 6 to 10 hours, whatever your shift is that you're there, is more productive.
Definitely.
You get more done, which, guess what? If you do this on a Monday, saves you more time later in the week. So this is, again, where the time is money concept comes into play. Now, you also will find that, especially if it's just strength training in the morning, because strength training for me energizes the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I love it.
For sure.
Later in the day, you're also going to find you have more energy. You're going to come home. Let's say you have kids. Let's say you have a family, whatnot. You're going to come home. You're going to give them more energy. You're going to give other projects that you might have on the side going on as well more energy. Because you don't just get home and you're sluggish. Hard work day to day. You're done.
Or here's another one. Instead of being too tired to like make dinner or something and stopping at fast food, now you have more energy. Be like, I'm going to grill tonight. I'm going to make pasta tonight. I hate casserole, but I'm going to make a casserole or something like that. Yeah.
So
Dude,
funny.
I hate casserole.
That's the thing, because I love casserole.
I don't care
so
if
funny.
it's like 3 or 4 things I absolutely love. The word casserole just freaks me out.
Is it the texture?
I don't know. It's just scary to me.
It's so
I
funny.
have nightmares about casseroles. But anyway, on the more energy topic there, it might allow you more energy to make an actual nutritious meal.
And guess what that nutritious meal is going to do for you?
Boom.
More energy.
More results.
Your sleep's going to be better.
Yes.
So you're going to recover better.
Yes.
Those injuries, that lower back pain that's been nagging you is going to get better because you're going to be sleeping better. You're going to have more energy, especially, we've talked about this too, you parents, you're going to have more energy for your children. That is massive.
Your resting heart rate's going to go down. You and I were just talking about this a little bit off the mics before we started. Like we were just both talking, guys, about how much our resting heart rates have decreased.
Have plummeted for that matter.
Literally. I've personally really
that probably
noticed
sounds
it.
so freaky to people. We just
No,
said,
it does,
We
for
said
sure.
a resting heart rate just plummeted.
Yeah.
Like going into cardiac arrest.
It beats
yeah.
like three times a minute. It's like,
we
what?
might want to look at it if that's the case.
but I've especially personally noticed it probably the past 4 to 6 weeks, how much my resting heart rate has lowered. And that's a very good thing, guys. If your heart is not having to work as hard while you're at rest, your heart health will be much longer and it will be much more sustainable as well.
Also means your heart's stronger.
It means it's stronger. That's right. That's right.
Yep, your stroke volume is going to be higher with the amount of blood it's pumping per beat, basically.
Right.
That's basically the science behind it, guys, is that whenever your heart beats less, it means it's pumping out more blood per stroke.
Yeah.
Which is massively healthy.
Yes.
It's basically like one of the top indicators for avoiding heart disease and avoiding cardiovascular issues down the line.
100%.
This is why you do cardio.
Yeah.
It's not cardio is not necessarily to shred down or something like that or do that. I mean,
it'll burn some extra calories.
You can't use it for that 100%.
Yeah.
But really, the bread and butter of what cardiovascular activity is for is your heart. And as you go along through life, having a healthy heart is so key for health span.
Sure.
Did you send me that video, Nick Bear? That he was talking about that? I don't know.
Yeah, he was talking about the hybrid training, but yeah.
Exactly. And because hybrid training is a great example of something that increases your health span and your longevity. Guess what? This is long-term of exercise now. Health span, you're going to be health span, guys, for those of you that don't know what that means. So there's your lifespan, which is just, let's say you live to 85, that's your lifespan. Health span is how many years of those you are viably able to be a capable human being, basically.
Which is just as important.
Oh, it's
because if you live to 85, but your health span is only 45, that's 40 years of just basically being dead. Misery, yeah. Pain, restlessness, other medical issues. You find yourself on prescriptions and stuff, which is pretty much always not ideal.
It's almost a death sentence.
There is a use for them at times, but if you don't have to be on them, that's so much better. So much better.
Exactly. And that's where the health span comes in, guys. Long term, if you have a health span of 75 to 80 years,
oh my gosh,
think how much more productive you're going to be throughout your entire life. So we start talking about time is money.
Yes.
You utilize the time because your health span is longer.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah. No, dude, that's fantastic right there.
But it's, again, what we give is simple advice. It's just that you have to go apply it.
Yeah, right.
Is the reality of the situation.
And it's not that difficult to apply. Like when,
it's so worth it to apply it.
It's so worth it. Oh. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the best investment you can make. Without a doubt.
Your health is by far the best investment you can make.
You and I, we always joke that, we spend a good chunk of change on different supplements and whatnot. But
no.
Because that's
whoa.
No.
Okay,
whoa.
Wurtz, we don't need to be talking numbers here. All right. I might buy supplements every once in a while, okay?
But that's because our health is a priority to us, and we know that these certain products. Now we're not using every product that Supplement Superstore sells. So feels like it sometimes.
Although I've thought about it sometimes too.
I'll take one of everything. Yeah. Go visit the new Chesterfield store.
Shat,
by the way.
can you bring me everything around back, please?
Yeah. Right. But that's because health is a priority to us,
Exactly.
And we know that the certain products that we take them for a purpose, and it's going to help not only our life, it's going to help our workouts. Yep. It's going to all around make us 1% better.
Yep. Early in our first season, guys, we actually did an episode. Now, fair warning, the quality on this, if you go back and listen to it, is not the same as you will be getting now. But it is, and we'll eventually do like kind of a stack on top of that supplement episode.
A newer one, yeah.
Because you and I love talking supplements, as you know.
Yeah, and we've added some new things since then, too.
We have, absolutely. So if you want to start with that, I believe it was episode 6, part 1, 2, and 3.
Of course you remember that.
Yeah, those were phenomenal early episodes.
They really were, actually.
I clearly remember us being like, holy shit, we're good at this thing.
Yeah.
And because of that episode.
Yeah.
So, sorry, those 3 episodes, I guess.
Yeah, because it was 3 parts.
Yes. Yep. And so if you guys want to dive back into that is why we talk about supplements a lot, because it gives you that extra little edge. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not going to cure your cancer or whatever people say these days with supplements and whatnot.
Right.
Whatever marketing
but
bullshit.
But it could help prevent it. in the long run.
It could add
help.
an extra little layer of exactly.
It could help
Yes.
Protect you against heart disease, like you just said earlier.
Yes.
That's more the cardiovascular activity, but if you are taking a supplement that's going to help your cardiovascular activity be better or more sustainable or more efficient, boom, there you go.
And guess what happens? You're going to get more time back because of that.
That's right.
Because your health span.
That's right.
Boom.
That's right.
Boom.
Guys, the next kind of point on being efficient and whatnot is, and this is a really, really important one, especially for your mind, is choosing who you spend your time with very, very wisely and evaluating how you feel when you're around certain people.
Such a good one.
If you are with people or you are just done hanging out or being around people and you notice that you are just drained and negatively drained, probably not a good thing. You're probably not hanging around the right group of people if it is just constantly negatively draining your energy. Now, the three of us get together, or him and I guys get together, Gabel and I get together to work on everything we're trying to work on. We're freaking drained. We are drained because we are using all of the little brain power that we have. Weird cough I have there.
Yeah, that was a weird stumble over the words there.
But real talk, we're gassed because we are trying to do so much.
Yep.
We were on a couple different Zooms this past week, and it was like, this is awesome, but it takes a lot of energy to do that, to be productive with it, and all of the other things that we're working on kind of off the podcast here. Like, it's great because it's ours and it's our baby. And anytime we get to work on our stuff, like it immediately gives us energy and excitement. But then when we're done, because we're putting so much effort into it, we're like, oh my gosh, I am gassed, in a good way. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to differentiate between being negatively drained and being positively drained. Him and I obviously have a fantastic relationship. So we are positively giving and draining our energy. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I hope it does.
Yeah, I'm kind of following. But
yeah.
Because
of what I just said. I'm not going to reiterate that. But if you are negatively being drained energy-wise, you're not hanging around the right people. You're not being productive. You're not progressing. You're not getting better. You're not making them better, chances are. And so it's just not a group of people to be around. If you're constantly around the same people that are doing things that you don't agree with, like, doing drugs or drinking every weekend or going out every weekend, like, that's not the right people to be around if you truly want the things that you say you want. If you're not someone that wants to go down the self-improvement path, then all the power to you, Go out every weekend, get fat, lose your money, and
ski the slopes.
And and don't get chicks, But
damn.
I mean, honestly though, like, that's not a flex on us, but it's just like, if you want to live that kind of life, dude, like, go for it, man. Go for it.
What, Mitch? What was that over there?
I don't know about the chicks part.
Just to clarify, guys.
I'm just saying, if
we don't wheel at all.
If you're fat, lazy, tired, out of shape, no money, how do you expect to get a good relationship? Maybe that's a better way to say it.
Why are you describing me? That's not very nice.
Mitch, you know I'm not describing you. You just bought a brand new Audi SQ5.
Bro, we're literally going to have him roll with Echo Charles. Like, when we talk about that in the other episode, we're going to have him roll so we can show he's the most jacked producer in the world.
Right.
100%.
You are. Yeah, we need to have a competition.
Yeah.
Bro, he'd be like Hulk with Loki. That's what he would do to me. Yeah, he would just beat the
rag
You
tar.
want to talk
doll.
about a thick dude. Just a thick boss.
Hulk?
Well, okay, yes, Hulk, but I was talking about Echo Charles.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, Hulk, yeah. Thick is one word to describe him, I guess.
Massive.
Can you tell we're fans of just smashing shit, guys?
Oh, yeah. And Marvel.
And Marvel. for
The
that matter.
good Marvel.
I was going to say
clarify.
before the last whatever.
Endgame
shit's been.
and before.
There you go.
Yep.
Yes.
That's anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, staying on task here.
Gosh, man. We are tired, aren't we?
we do this all the time, though. Going
That's
off on
so
random
true.
tangents.
Yeah, we've been fully refreshed with energy, and we still get off tangents.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it is
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is. Anyways, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's super important to spend your time wisely. Is my whole
dude.
point.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You hit super well on that too, because here's the thing. You said, I really liked what you said about, because basically what you were saying when it came to you and I's relationship and the positively drained, and because guys, Wurtz is making the point of we're not just robots. It's not like him and I get together and every time we do work, we do, training work for Untapped, we do the podcast, we do apparel, whatever it is. It's not like we're Energizer bunnies all the time.
Sure.
That's not a thing. That's we wouldn't be human if that was the case.
No, definitely.
Unless we're on like TRT like Connor. Then we'd probably be Energizer bunnies all the time, but that's different.
Captain America.
Hell yeah. But the point he's making is that it's a good use of our time, even if we're a little bit tired.
Oh, yeah.
We're a little bit more drained than usual and whatnot. We put some more hours in. We put 2 or 3 hours in after our work that day and whatnot. We put 4 hours in, whatever it is. We're still getting a lot of use out of that time.
For sure.
But that does not mean that Wurtz and I are just these ready to go at all times human beings.
Yeah. I mean, a perfect example, dude, what was this? Probably back 2 or 3 months, we used to have to record later on Friday nights. Not insanely late, but it was after you worked, after I worked. I would come over straight after work, and I'd be gassed. It's the end of the week. It's the end of the day of the last day of the week, and it just almost every week it's just like, damn, dude, like I'm tired. We got to do this, but like I'm tired. And then what would I almost always say when we were done? Like, dude, immediately as soon as we started podcasting or even talking about the podcast or talking about the training and the apparel, everything you just mentioned, it's like immediately energy just skyrockets.
Yes.
Skyrockets. And that's not a hit on either one of our jobs or anything like that, but it's just when we get to work on what we see our future as.
Well, we know what the true goal is too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. When we get the opportunity to do those things, it's exciting. It's things we want to be doing.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely, dude.
It's and we've talked about this in a past either Fortitude episode or maybe an EX Mind from season 2, where it was like prioritizing the things that you enjoy, because those are going to be energy givers, not energy takers, and that's not abusing that. If you're someone that enjoys playing video games, okay, it doesn't mean you're playing video games for 6 hours every single day.
Please.
Yeah.
Like
that's not what we mean by that. But if you enjoy writing or you enjoy reading your book outside or reading in general or podcasting or whatever it is, prioritize that, And if you are someone that enjoys sillier things like playing video games or whatever, okay, you can throw that in during the week. Just don't make it every single day for 6 hours a day. I
love that.
I very much love making content. I make that a priority all throughout the week, and so you just have to be smart with how you spend your time.
Yeah. Well, I want to point out something with the video games too real quick. So, because again, we're talking about the time is money concept, right? And you might hear, but we can still play video games? Yes. You can still do fun things. You can still talk about goofy shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As we do.
Dude, we talk about some of the most
I think
out-of-pocket things.
I have had conversations. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's bad. Eventually we'll get canceled in some way. But
probably.
But
Adam 22.
Oh.
Bro, we got to do an episode on that, actually. Because we're not going to dive into that because I'll go down a rabbit hole with that one, too.
Yeah.
But my point is, guys, I've had some conversations where I think some of you think that Wurtz and I only talk business 24/7. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would lose my mind if that is the number one thing 100% of the time we did.
Yeah.
Because there's no way my brain could handle just boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over with Untapped.
Yeah.
Untapped, it takes up a lot of our conversation. There's
probably about 90% of it, 95%
probably
of it. And there's days where it is 100% of it too.
100%. But and that's what has to happen sometimes.
Yeah. But you and I, we always make sure, literally a week ago, we went and ran 2.5 miles together. We always make it a point every fall, because fall golf is the best. We always make it a point to go golfing. We're pretty ass at golfing, but we make it a point because it's fun. We have fun, and we almost get shit on by geese.
Ooh. Geese are my mortal enemies. I'm telling you, bro. One of these days, I'm going to club one of them. 100%. Just right in the neck.
You do.
Just
you need to. You need to.
You're going to get it on camera, and then I'm going to get like PETA on me or something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
But
better to be PETA than pedo.
Nice. Tweet that too. Put that on Twitter. But guys, so I wanted to point that out because this is not saying that every bit of your habits and time have to be automated and they have to be dialed in all the time. You can play your video games. like Wurtz said, don't do the 6 hours a day bullshit.
Yeah, because
that's just you coping.
Yeah,
for
then
some
you're
reason.
just a robot.
You're a robot, 100%. And here, and the thing is, again, let's say, guys, because we're talking about, choosing who you spend your time with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, and again, this is not saying that when you spend time with people, it has to be self-improvement, business talk 100% of the time. That's also not realistic.
Sure.
Now, is it good to have audit your conversations with people?
Yeah, and you still need to have like-minded people around you too.
Exactly. Yeah, and are your only conversations with these people about what they did last weekend? Yeah, work's super busy.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh, I hate my job.
Oh, yeah. Like
just constantly hearing
this girl
negativity.
and I are talking. And that's it.
Right.
That stuff can be thrown in and
Sure.
whatnot.
Sure.
It can. This is not saying that Wurtz and I aren't the words police here or something like that. Yeah, save that for 1984. But here's the thing, is that if you catch yourself in these conversations, you audit yourself in these conversations, that is also a time drain.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you end up, where time, you're wasting it at this point in time. And again, like we said, time is money.
Right.
So if you're wasting it and just, and again, because us three have had times where we've spent time with people at bonfires, at a recent baby shower and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And the conversations were awesome.
Yeah. Unexpectedly too. At
Unexpectedly,
times.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what ends up happening, and again, it could be that you and I force the conversations that way sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
And I
Which
think
it's not bad if we do that.
You know, that's actually a very interesting I just thought of about this. I think because we've gone down the path we have the past several years, I wonder if more people are willing to talk about those things with us. Because like you mentioned the baby shower. And these are people that I've known for a long, long time. You've known for a long, long time. Never in my wildest dreams would I have expected to have some conversations like we did on kind of the self-improvement type topic with those people. Not that they're not capable of it. That's just never really been a massive part of our relationships with them or conversations. But I wonder if people are more willing to have those conversations because, one, they're either super interested in it and they're like, damn, these guys they're doing good things. They look good. They've made progress. They're trying to do something different. Any number of the things that we're trying to do or that we are doing. They're interested in it. So they want to know more. They want to hear our advice, our opinions, our thoughts, etc. Or two, they're doing it on their own, but they're maybe a little bit afraid to bring it up to those other people around them. Mm-hmm. They see us like, oh, I could definitely talk about this with these guys.
This is a guy
and you and I, because of the type of people we are, we're going to be more than willing to have that conversation.
We're sitting forward. We're diving into that
100%,
conversation.
100%. Like, bro, let's go. Let's eat. Let's do it.
Yep.
So I'm wondering if that's part of the reason that all happened.
Honestly, that was the kind of realization I just had here too. And I was like, wait, that's interesting.
Because you and I, when we were done at this specific event, we were driving home, and it's just like, dude, like, I used to judge those people for kind of how they lived their lives, and I didn't really think too highly of some of them.
Sure.
Not all of them. Just certain people because of things they said or the way they maybe chose to live their life. There was definitely a little bit of judging going on my end.
Definitely.
And then you have those conversations like, damn, like I couldn't have been more wrong about those guys. That's why you don't judge a book by its cover. It's cliche as hell, but like there's so much truth to it, And you start to dive into those types of conversations, and you really figure out, one, everyone's life is messed up in some sort of way. Mm-hmm. Everyone, it's different for everyone, but everyone has something. And two, most people are interested in self-improvement because most people truly are not satisfied with how they live their life.
Exactly what I was going to say. Exactly what I was going to say, dude.
I don't know. Kind of literally just like a mid-episode realization for us.
A little thought bubble.
Which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great point, because that's exactly what I was about to say, is that in reality, if you bring it up, self-improvement topics in general, up in conversation, it's usually a pretty positive feedback for the most part.
For sure.
There are certain people, and again, I think this is a little bit rarer than it's made out to be. I think it's rare but there are certain people that just, they can't talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it, and again, you just don't spend time around people like that.
Right.
Because again, you got to audit your time.
Yes.
But for the most part, guys, if you guys bring self-improvement topics up in conversation, you'll find that most people around you, even your friends who you might not think of like that, they're going to enjoy the topic. Mm-hmm. Mitchell and I have been to plenty of bonfires where, you wouldn't necessarily expect conversation you would expect it to just be kind of basic surface level, and it always goes deeper.
Yeah.
Within 30 minutes of the conversation.
Yeah.
And again, this is because I might poke and prod with a couple questions and whatnot, see how their reactions are.
Yeah.
And guess what? Since I've gotten good reactions with those people I'm talking about, I continue going on it. Right. Every time we're together, we talk about that type of stuff because I know they want to.
Right.
And it ends up being an extremely good use of my time.
Right.
At this point in time as well. So I think that's choosing your time wisely is really important, but believe in people. People want to talk about important shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only do they want to talk about important shit, but they want to feel important too themselves. As you guys can see on the video, I'm no longer shaggy. I finally got to the barber. And
looks fire.
It does. David Beardsley's in Eureka.
It does.
Yeah, it does. He kills it every time.
David's
I didn't do it.
David
I'm not
goes
taking credit.
Crazy with the cuts,
David
dude.
and Jacob in there both.
Yeah,
are
studs.
Fantastic at what they do. Definitely go and check them out, gentlemen. Beardsley's in Eureka. Shameless plug for sure, right there.
Yeah, literally not paid at all. We'll promote the hell out of them no matter
absolutely.
what. Yeah.
And the great thing about a barbershop is what you're really paying for is the conversation. It's the interactions.
Yes, you are.
And that's the best part. And I was in David's chair yesterday, and we're recording this on Saturday, guys, when you hear this on Monday. I was in the chair, and we were talking about this type of thing. And we sort of were going down the route a little bit different than what we're talking about now as far as feeling important and doing something with purpose, doing something important. Everyone wants that, right? Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, that people want to feel appreciated and they want to feel important. We were more so talking about like single-parent homes and why a lot of those times there's a high percentage of those kids that end up in cults or gangs, stuff like that, because in their childhood, they lacked that sense of family, that sense of importance, that sense of love, that sense of, did I say purpose?
Acceptance.
The purpose,
yeah.
Acceptance. So then they find themselves in a cult or in a gang where it is a very, very tight-knit, honestly, family. Those are messed up situations to be in.
Yeah.
But it's a family. There's a purpose. There's a bond. There's a brotherhood potentially, and so it's the same way, and obviously that can go both directions, the wanting to feel important, doing something important, blah, blah, blah. It can go that way of the violence and the negativity and the crime and, the outlandish stuff that cults bring and whatnot. But that's how David Koresh got all those people to follow him in Waco.
Yep.
Again, I'm not advocating for joining a cult, but it's a purpose for those people. Right or wrong, it's a purpose. That's what they feel.
Yep.
That's what they lacked prior to that. When you're kind of lost in your life, if you can find the self-improvement path, the habit-building path, the personal excellence, as Andy Frisella talks about, path.
They love to call that a cult.
Yeah, they do. They try to call it a cult. It's like, okay, I'd rather be a part of this cult than a violent one or
I'd rather be really fit.
Happy.
Good mental health.
Yeah.
Happy.
Be around great people. 24/7.
Sounds like a really bad situation to be in.
Sucks for me. Like, absolutely not. Yeah, okay, call us a cult. I don't really care. The only reason you're calling it a cult is because you're not in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're looking from the outside in, wanting to be a part of it because you see us all jacked, happy, good mental health, around a lot of just attractive people that have a lot of attractive qualities. I'm not even talking physically, but just are capable of having good conversations, are based, don't have these idiotic ideas about the world and society. The only reason you're calling it a cult or that you're pissed off about those people is because you're not in it, dude. And I promise
they hate us because they hate us.
That's right. Yeah. And I promise you, if you started down that path, you would be more than welcomed. More than welcomed.
Yep.
And that's we have spoken so highly of First Form and Supplement Superstores, which are obviously both here in St. Louis. We have spoken so highly of them because of the culture that we are a part of with those companies. That's their whole thing. Because you talk about a cult, everyone loves to call First Form a cult. Dude, I don't really care what you say about it.
Everybody that calls First Form a cult doesn't know a single person.
They shop at GNC.
I literally look at them like If you shop at GNC, you need to reevaluate a lot of life decisions.
Guys, DM us if you shop at GNC.
Yeah.
We're gonna put you on.
We're gonna help you out if that's actually a scenario you're somehow caught up in.
Yeah, Joe Andrews.
Eventually, he'll catch that.
Although he's way more jacked than what we are.
Yeah, but he's also like 5 feet shorter than us too.
Yeah, he's like Mitch's height.
Oh.
You know,
Let's hear it.
one of these days it's gonna catch up with you. That's all I
Hey,
gotta
you might
say.
be funnier than us, but you're not taller.
That's fine.
Yeah, is it though?
He wants to drop so many lines right now that we drop when we're not on the mics.
We won't discuss what I'm gonna say.
Money Mitch, I love you, brother. Mm-hmm. I do.
Little tire pumping session here.
Another
coming up next.
Another good quality
saw-
that good people have is they can laugh at themselves.
Yes,
though.
I saw a video. It was like
Here we go.
when a 5'8" person turns on the bathtub, and it was like, you know, the Ant-Man scene where he's running and it's like a tsunami in the bathtub because he's like tiny.
Yes.
That's what they said the 5'8" person was. And then they said the person turning on the faucet was a 6 foot person. Like, people act like there's this gargantuan difference between like if you're 5'11" versus 6 foot, it's like a 12-foot gap. It's like, what are we doing,
Bro,
here?
I've literally had to audit myself being 6'4" just to make sure I'm not an ass about it because I love.
Yeah, you were blessed.
Those memes are hilarious.
They are
Absolutely hilarious.
They are.
Because it was the same thing as when that the boyfriend and girlfriend, when you work out with your girlfriend.
Oh, dude, those are so funny.
She's holding like a 45-pound plate, and in reality, she hands it to him. It's a 5-pound plate.
She's like struggling. Or the rope, dude, the rope one is the best. She's like struggling to pick up the battle ropes, which are massive and they're heavy.
They are big, yeah.
But she's like struggling to pick them up. She hands it to him and he grabs the rope extension for the cable. That's a really funny trend.
Oh,
that's
gosh, yeah.
like if you guys are a gym couple, any of you listening, like you should make that because that is hilarious.
Actually, though,
yes, that is super funny for sure. But
gosh, man,
I don't know, man. It just you got to spend your time wisely, and you got to get down the self-improvement path in whatever way that means for you. You know,
and if you catch yourself not in a self-improvement path and then like crying about it and bitching about it and making fun of other people, you really need to check yourself. Which you probably won't listen to me because
sure,
and
I don't know that we really have those types of people.
I really don't think we have those listeners.
Yeah.
Maybe every once in a while one pops in and whatnot, but I would doubt it.
If you find yourself being that type of person, like we'd love to bring you along with us. That's why we're doing this.
Exactly.
And kind of the last thing here for you guys is your environment. Because that's a big one. Your environment has to be conducive. And this honestly kind of goes with spending your time wisely. But your environment has to be conducive to whatever tasks you're trying to accomplish. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're constantly around people that are going out, doing drugs, drinking all the time, things like that, where they're really not productive for you, that means your environment is not conducive to what you're trying to do. If you're someone that is trying to better your life, when we were kind of coming up with ideas for this point, Gabel, you mentioned if your desk at home is where you do your work, that's where you work on your side business or you work on just different
you work
things.
from home,
you do work.
whatever.
Yes, work from home. A lot of people doing that. Mitch, you're one of them. If that's where you work, that should not be where you also sit back and watch Netflix.
Correct.
It shouldn't be where you sit back and watch TV. The couch should not be where you sleep, do work, and eat dinner.
Yeah.
And a lot of you find yourselves doing that. And sometimes that'll happen. You eat dinner on the couch. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
You fall asleep on the couch, like if you're tired.
You love that.
I love that shit. Yeah. I'm all about it. It's not necessarily a bad habit, but the couch is just comfortable.
Well, and there's a difference between just happening to fall asleep on the couch and literally sleeping on the couch.
It's always like bedtime when I do it. I'm like, I'm not going to go to my bed tonight. Yeah. Whatever. It's like literally 10 feet away. I can't walk that far.
Yeah. Just bear crawls across the floor.
Scare the hell out of Mitchell at like 10 o'clock at night doing that.
What is happening up there?
Who's crawling around right now?
It's like some Conjuring stuff right there.
Gosh, don't bring up the Conjuring, please.
Terrifying movies.
No.
Don't
no Annabelle, no doll, nothing. No demonic bull. Yeah. No clapping shit. No, I hate that.
Hey, let's watch that tonight, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. Great idea. Exactly what I would love. Movie I'd love to watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally enjoyed that.
I'll cuddle you.
That's getting a YouTube clip. That's getting a that's getting a pause. Well, oh yeah. So you were talking about what's it called? You were talking about the couch. This for me is the most common one I feel like I see is because they even say this can go. The main three examples that pop up for I think for us three probably, and for probably most people is the desk, the work desk.
Definitely
is the kitchen table and the couch. Those three are your auditing places you need to audit what you're doing in those environments because
sure.
they have uses for them. The couch, if you want to sit down, relax, watch TV, that's its use.
Definitely.
The kitchen table, you eat dinner there. That's the only thing you do there. Your desk, you do work on. And then maybe you pick a spot where, you go and like you sit out on your deck or something like that and you watch YouTube videos. Maybe out there. That's where you want to watch your educational content or whatever.
Sure. Or read.
So this is a big thing. The idea of the environment too, guys, and a lot of the stuff we've actually talked about today comes from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Super good. And his emails are almost even better because they come every week.
What is it? The newsletter, I guess? 321.
The 321 newsletter or something like that.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
He is a genius when it comes to habits.
Oh my gosh.
Genius.
Yeah.
And I'd say that with every ounce of being I have behind that because that's real talk. And so, by the way, if you haven't read that book, do so.
Absolutely.
One of my top three.
Highly recommend it. Yeah.
But the environment, guys, the reason he says this is because you get the problem is, imagine you're scrolling through TikTok while you're at your work desk. What happens? Your work starts getting diluted.
Yeah.
If you can have your desk be the deep work zone, you're only working there on Untapped in our case, on whatever side hustle you guys are working on. If you're doing like e-commerce stuff or whatever, that type of stuff, cool. But that should be reserved for that location because it really prioritizes that activity there.
Yeah, and it gets your mind in, I'm sitting at my desk, I do work here.
I'm sitting on the couch, okay, it's time to relax. Yeah. I can stop focusing on answering phone calls, I can stop answering emails and whatnot. I can just relax because I don't need to be turned on 100% of the time for the rest of the world. I don't need to be go, perfect employee, dad, this and that. This is where I relax.
Yeah.
So that's one I like that we put that point in a lot too, because I think it's a small point, but a really important point of auditing what you're doing in each location. Because I do see a lot of people using their bedroom for.
It's a big one. I even find myself doing that at times.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Of getting on my iPad, watching some Hormozy videos or some Kill All Pedophiles videos. I love going down those rabbit holes. By the way, it's Jim Caviezel.
Yeah.
It's not, because we said like Caviezel.
We said Caviezel, yeah.
And I was like,
Caviezel.
Whatever. Like I'm not going to go back and correct that. But Caviezel, yeah. But that's where I'll go and watch, those type of educational content on YouTube. I'll maybe, watch a couple of the TikToks that we might send each other or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
That's usually really productive, actually, because TikTok.
Honestly, yeah.
TikTok is really good with their algorithm. We talked about that.
Wow, that was not English.
Excuse me.
Our algorithms are at least
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, if you like bullshit and that's it, you're going to get bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, that's the thing, because even you and I, we could start auditing where we do that stuff, where we watch educational content, where we get on TikTok and whatnot, and have it reserved for a certain location, and that's it.
Yeah.
A funny one, Mitch and I's location for cigars is our couch right on our deck. That's always our spot. And that's just where him and I relax, maybe do a little bit of work, maybe do some journaling and whatnot, maybe just have good conversations, and we can just breathe.
Yeah.
And that is a reserved spot for that. Other than for men's nights, of course.
Sure.
But that's a different story.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff, man. Well, guys, at the end of all of our episodes, Money Mitch asks us a Q&A question that is submitted by you guys, the listeners or the viewers. You can submit those on Instagram through our DMs. There's also an email button on our Instagram, which is at untapped.llp. Our email is extricationfitness@gmail.com, so that's still under the extrication email. You can text them to us, but all of our questions, or leave them in the comments on YouTube. That's also another way.
Please. Yep.
All of our questions go straight to Money Mitch. We really don't dive into them. We really don't look at them too in-depthly. We send them to him, and he picks one, and do your thing, man.
Alrighty. We've seen many successful entrepreneurs preach that chasing money typically leads to earning less money. Understanding that, what are some ways to develop a time-centric mindset rather than a money-centric focus? So don't waste time in the pursuit of money. Use money to facilitate your time better, essentially. How do we develop that mindset where you're really focused on not chasing money? You're developing relationships. You're focused on things other than money, and money will come along with that. How do you develop that mindset?
Yep. I mean, first thought that comes to my head is, especially you and I, we can relate a lot to this in the way of, one, education with our training. Because, if we have certifications like the corrective exercise certification or the what is it, nutrition coach, certified nutrition coach by NASM, those help us free up some time because it allows us to be a higher valued trainer.
Right.
But going off the education side, those of you, again, that could be, and Mitchell, you do, talk about your cybersecurity stuff. You do a lot of boot camps and added workshops, right, to increase your education on that.
I was going to talk about it early in the episode, but a good way to structure my time day to day, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and then that leaves, 8 hours left over?
Yep.
So typically it's 3 hours dedicated to some sort of fitness, getting outside, doing whatever, and then 3 hours to hobby or learning, and then 2 hours for all the other admin stuff, making your food, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I like to do it. I typically have about an hour of self-learning a day, whether it be, through an official certification program or whatever it may be. And again, that just makes you a higher valued person, right? You've heard we've all heard it where a lot of small businesses, they have an issue. They can't provide their services to enough customers. And most people say, okay, raise your prices X amount. You'll lose maybe 50% of your customers, but you're still earning the same amount because your price is higher. Therefore, you're getting higher quality customers, therefore leading to higher quality work.
Yeah.
So that's
Nice.
That's the way I've thought about it. Because in my job, we charge ridiculous hourly rates, but you're paying for the time, right? Something that would take a company's cybersecurity team, 10 hours to do to figure out on their own would take me 2. So thinking that in the long run, they're paying exorbitant hourly rates. But if their whole team has to dedicate 10 hours of time to fixing whatever the issue is,
right,
you're going to pay more.
Yeah.
Because all those people are salaried.
Yeah.
So their time is worth money as well. So you're paying for time.
Yeah.
There.
Like that. Yeah. And guys, I was glad you said that, Mitchell, or all that, because I wanted to also another real world example outside of just personal training and whatnot. Now, I would say what I've seen on our end with our stuff, whether it's personal content or untapped content, when it comes to being relationship / time focused, so to speak, you and I have made a pretty big priority of putting free content out there. The podcast, content on socials, on Twitter, on Instagram, on wherever, TikTok, Facebook, all that. So we made a pretty big point of doing that because the truth of the matter is when you are more active on and you have more of a, how do I put it? Presence, yeah, so to speak, on socials, listening platforms like, Spotify and whatnot. And, we're 90 plus episodes in now. So there's a certain credibility that comes along with it. Just like when you and I post content on social media, there's a certain amount of credibility that comes the more we post, the more and more and more we post. So where I'm going with that is that I feel like you and I have done a much better job recently of being relationship focused with the stuff we put out and not just what's the best way to get dollars in our pocket right now. It's been, okay, our apparel is really solid quality and we're going to price it at this. And, people have really enjoyed it so far. They really enjoyed the shirt and they're going to get an original shirt from Untapped.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just you and I were like, dude, we like to joke. We're gonna make millions on everything and whatnot within one drop, but we're not gonna, sell $8 million in shirts with the first drop we ever do or something like that. That's not even realistic.
Right.
But we're selling the relationship.
Right.
Because when you wear that Untapped shirt, you're part of the Untapped fam.
Right.
So I think that's a big thing as well. When it comes to being more time-centric, yeah, the education one was the first thing that came to mind, but I don't need to reiterate on that. But what do you got?
To kind of go more into the relationship side of it, I think we have an understanding because we're both very eager to make money and we do have material goals. There's nothing wrong with that because we also have an understanding of what needs to happen to fulfill those goals. So it's not a bad thing. And it's not a bad thing to be eager to make more money, make a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with that, to want to be successful financially and
Because you're helping a lot of people.
Create wealth because you're helping people. Maybe you're providing jobs for other people. You're able to provide for your family, protect your family. There's a lot that comes with that. So we definitely have a focus on money. So don't get that twisted, guys. But I think we also have
not everything's gonna be free.
Yeah. Well, and that's not even what I mean. I just don't want it to sound like, oh, these guys don't care about making money, because we 100% without a doubt do.
That would be very intellectually dishonest if we said that. Yeah.
Yes. But I think you and I also have an understanding because of the people we listen to the most, whether that's Andy or Ed Milet, Jocko. There's another one that we listen to all the time that I'm completely blanking on. But
like Mark and Jeff?
Well, I was going to get to them here in a second, but the people that we try to learn from the most, so we have an understanding that the more and more we build quality relationships with people that are ahead of us in the game, specifically Jeff Lavecchio and Mark Anthony Joe, who we have continued to build a really good relationship with. Obviously, Jeff was on our podcast and spoke very highly of us too, and that meant so much to us,
Yeah.
And obviously, we speak very highly of him and Mark both. But we have an understanding that the more and more we build quality relationships, not just, oh, I met this guy. No, like we could call Jeff right now and ask him a question. We saw him one day at a coffee shop. We were like, hey, do you have a few minutes? We had a couple questions. He didn't have a few minutes, but he made the time for us. That's the kind of relationship that we have built with him, and that also just speaks to Jeff's character. But
100%.
To my point here, finally getting to it, the more and more we build quality relationships, that's going to bring more money in the future.
Yes.
So if the focus is on building quality relationships and not just saying we meet people just to say we meet people, but to actually learn from them, pick their brain, have them answer our questions, give their advice, make them willing to help us. How many times has Mark told us, anytime you guys want to come down to the coffee shop, we'll talk about sales, we'll talk about what you guys are trying to do. Like, I want to help, I want to help. When we hear that from those guys, because of how much we look up to them, it means an unbelievable amount to us. It
means the absolute world.
Yeah. Just like it feels so great when people tell us how excited they are for us to be doing what we're trying to do. Anytime I hear that you're excited about, the podcast or another episode coming out, or you're excited that training is coming and all this stuff, like it means so much. It means so much. It gives us hope, it gives us energy, and it brings us a lot of joy. And it also kicks us into gear like, hey, people want this. People want this from us. They want our help, and we want to help you as well. Yep. So I think we have really come to the conclusion that the more and more we try to build relationships that are of quality, that will bring money down the road.
And like you've said in past episodes, relationships aren't just a one-way street.
No, not at all.
Yeah. We're coming to bring our stuff to the table too.
Yeah.
We might not be able, might not have as big of a tool bag to bring to the table, but we're still coming to the table.
But we got something.
Yeah.
That's right.
We can help.
That's right.
One way or another. So that's one thing too, guys. If you're trying to build quality relationships, don't just come asking for everything. Don't just come begging for, them to do everything for you.
Right.
That's not the right way to go about it.
Right.
You should be a quality human being that is also caring about them.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, guys, that's going to be Season 3, Episode 15. Time is money. Our first Forging Fortitude in a little bit. This is a good one. This is a very, very important one, guys. Your time is extremely, extremely valuable, and you need to treat it as such. One thing I did want to mention real quick here, you guys are obviously hearing this on Monday, the 17th. It is this guy's birthday today, turning 25.
Unbelievable.
Yesterday, the 16th, was Money Mitch's birthday. Yes, they are a day apart, 2 years apart, though. So, boys, happy birthday to both of you. I love you so much. I appreciate you guys more than you probably even understand. I'm getting goosebumps right now. You guys have no idea.
Don't make me cry on the podcast,
the
please.
spot that you guys hold, not only in my life, but in my heart. I'm extremely thankful for you both. and happy birthday.
Thank you, bro. Love you.
Love you.
Love
Thanks,
you, dog.
Wurtzy.
Yep. So, guys, please share the show. Okay, it's extremely easy to do so. It's also free. Okay, please help us out. It helps us a ton. So share the show on your Instagram stories. Talk to people about it. Text the link to it. All that good stuff. So, guys, until next time, peace and love.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen.